Today I am announcing my Pathway Home quilt along. I am so excited about this quilt along. It's going to have 2 blocks in it, and then you're going to have a border to add on and then finishing. So today is the day that it sort of starts, which is the 17th of August. And then we're going to have videos post each Thursday that walks through another step of the quilt. So today I'm going to be sharing all the fabric requirements for this quilt. They're going to show up on the screen here, and then they're also going to be in the description of this video and on my blog. If you head to my blog, go ahead and subscribe if you're not already, because a lot of information for this quilt along is going to be posting there each Thursday as well. So there's going to be a lot more details about the fabric requirements there on my blog. And then there's also going to be each week a bunch of graphics and different charts that will help you with piecing all of the blocks. That way, you won't just have a visual tutorial on the video, but also some more written instructions for you as well on the blog. All right, and so next Thursday, which is the 24th, the first video tutorial will appear on YouTube and on my blog, and that will be walking through the double 9 patch block here. You can see these are nice big blocks, and this quilt will finish at 63 inches by 63 inches. You'll be making 4 double 9 patch blocks to make up this quilt. The next video to post will be on August 31st, and that video will walk through the log cabin house block. You'll be making 5 of these blocks, and I do feel that that block will have so much helpful information on my blog. It will have a chart for placement of all of the log cabin rectangles and also all the cutting requirements for those. I felt that putting all of that on the blog post would be a lot more helpful than me saying them in the video over and over and you trying to write them down. So they'll all be listed there, and it'll make it a lot easier for you. All right, so that takes care of the 2 main blocks for this quilt. And then the video that will follow the log cabin house block will be on September 7th. So that video will walk through piecing all of the finished blocks together and then adding on the border. The final video will post on September 14th, and that video will be all of the finishing of the quilt. So I'll talk about how I like to base the quilt and then some quilting ideas, as well as adding on the binding for the quilt. All right, so that kind of covers the structure for the quilt along, but I do want to talk a little bit about how complicated I think this quilt is to put together. I do think this is a beginner-friendly quilt along. I do show strip piecing for the 9 patch, so you might want to feel comfortable doing strip piecing. And then the roof up here is a flying geese block, so you are sewing on the bias there. Other than that, it'll just be a lot of comfort level with cutting, as well as sewing a 1/4 inch seam and pressing and basic skills like that. One thing to keep in mind is these strips through here are on the smaller size. They are 1.5 inch strips. Now, I did think about going a little larger on those. I know not everybody likes those smaller sizes, but I felt like you could get more of them and add a lot more color through here, so I did go smaller, but I do think it's a really fun block to sew, and it turns out so good if you just have some patience and try out that smaller piecing. All right, so there is the Pathway Home quilt along. I hope you gather your fabric and join me throughout the next few weeks in piecing this quilt. I think it is going to be a lot of fun. Some ideas, if you don't want to do the fall theme here, is doing Halloween fabrics or Christmas. I think those would look really great as well. Let me know in the comments what fabrics you're thinking of using, and I hope you jump over to my Facebook group so that if you do join along in the quilt along, you can share your progress there with all of us. I'd love to see how your quilt is coming along. All right, I will see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.